What's up, you guys? It's me, Lexi, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're just gonna get right into it. Okay, so boom. Throwback Disney Channel songs you didn't know were covers. First song I want to talk about is Deal With It by corbinbleu. And I know this song isn't technically a cover because it was given away to corbinbleu. However, the original artist's version has been online for years and I haven't seen anyone talking about it. So I wanted to talk about it in this video. Back in 2006, an artist named Kamal Judy, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, was signed to Relentless Records, which was a subsidiary of Virgin Records, and had just finished recording his second studio album set to be titled Deal With It. And the song Deal With It was going to be the album's lead single. However, after he finished recording the 16-track album, his label scrapped the album altogether, claiming that it didn't fit in with the trends of the market at the time. The album had an Indian R&B feel to it, and the market was starting to lean more towards pop music, so the label scrapped his album. A few of these songs would later go on to be on his album titled My Own Way, but Deal With It did not end up making the cut. So it was ultimately given to corbinbleu, who at the time was working on his debut album, Another Side. And here's the kicker, y'all. Here's the kicker. Kamal Judy is best known by the stage name Jay Sean. Jay Sean as in Jay Sean, who made the 2009 hit single Down. Jay Sean is in fact a credited writer on corbinbleu's version, and if you listen closely, you can even hear him doing backing vocals. Jay Sean's version leaked on the internet a year after corbinbleu's version came out, and I haven't seen anyone say anything about this. So that's why I wanted to say something about it. And although there are minor differences, for the most part, it sounds similar to the corbinbleu version we all know. If you don't know, then you have got to deal with it. If you don't know, then you have got to deal with it. Also, I know the K-pop fans are going to be saying this in the comments, so I want to beat you guys to it. In 2011, the K-pop group SHINee released a cover of Deal With It, which they renamed Juliet, and they changed the lyrics a little bit. I definitely knew of this version's existence because I had a friend in middle school who was like really into SHINee and like really into K-pop, so like I knew about this version. But like I didn't know about the Jay Sean version until years ago, so I found that very interesting. Next up on the list, we have Double Dutch Bus by Raven. In 2008, Raven released her version of Double Dutch Bus in order to promote her then upcoming movie College Road Trip, which, fun fact, one of my cousins was an extra in that movie. She was in college at the time. She kind of did it for vibes, and it was filmed right here in Connecticut, so she didn't have to go too far. But anyway, Raven's version received heavy airplay in between commercial breaks on Disney Channel as well as on Radio Disney. But the original version was recorded by a funk musician named Frankie Smith, and this was his highest charting single. It was released on February 22nd, 1981, and peaked at number 30 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart that summer. Unfortunately for him, he never made a single dime off that song because the record label he was signed to at the time, WMOT Records, got busted for money laundering. And it is unclear if he ever got any royalties from Raven's version before passing away in 2019. Raven definitely made the song her own. Double Dutch bus coming down the street. There's a double Dutch bus coming down the street. She added in a chorus that wasn't in the original. She also added in that, you know, bum bum ba-dum bum 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 bum. That wasn't in the original. And I don't know about y'all, but Raven's version definitely went double platinum in my household growing up. The next songs on the list are Year 3000 by Jonasbrothers and What I Go to School For by Jonasbrothers. We're just gonna combine the two. I feel like a lot of people know this already, but I did have to include this in the video. Now, I was a Jonasbrothers girly growing up, okay? I went back and forth between Joe and Nick because I was fake as fuck and didn't have loyalty to any of them. But maturing is realizing that the Jonasbrothers was low-key a busted cover band when they first came out, because they covered 2 songs from the British band Busted and never gave them any type of credit. Like, they could have at least put like cover, you know, like next to the song, like cover in parentheses, but they didn't do that. So they were a little trifling for that. But not really, because James Bourne, one of the members of Busted, did come out and say that they personally gave the Jonasbrothers permission to cover their songs, so maybe not. For their 2006 album, It's About Time, the Jonasbrothers covered both the Busted songs What I Go to School For and Year 3000. A few of the lyrics were changed on both songs because the songs were going to be played on Radio Disney, which Once again, shout out Radio Disney. Who remembers Radio Disney? With What I Go to School For, the original premise of the Busted song was about them having a crush on their teacher, and obviously they needed to make the Jonas Brothers version a bit more family friendly, so they tweaked the lyrics to make them about Nick having a crush on an upperclassman. My favorite lyric in the Busted version is, "So she may be 33, but that doesn't bother me." Like, that is... Can we talk about that for a second? Because, like, as someone who, like, had a crush on one of my teachers in high school, girl, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy to, like, listen to now and be like, yo, like, so she may be 33, but that doesn't bother me. And they're, like, 16, 17 years old singing this. It's kind of crazy to listen to now, like, at 24 and be like, but in the Jonas Brothers version, they changed that lyric to, her boyfriend's just turning 19, but that doesn't bother me. And it's kind of just like, okay. Like, you know, like, okay. Another lyric change is in the original Busted version. They say, I fought my way to front of class to get the best view of her ass. And in the Jonas Brothers version, they say, I daydream through freshman math while she fills out her college apps. And it's just kind of like, it's giving Kids Bop. I can't even lie, it's giving Kids Bop. It's giving Kids Bop! Moving on to year 3000, the most notable difference is in the chorus. Busted says, and your great-great-great-granddaughter is pretty fine. In the Jonas Brothers version, it's doing fine. Also, in the Jonas Brothers version, they say, girls there with round hair like Star Wars float above the floor. But in the Busted version, they say, triple-breasted women swim around town totally naked.
What?
Perhaps the smartest lyric change comes from the Jonas Brothers version, where they say, everybody bought our 7th album, it had outsold Kelly Clarkson, as opposed to the original version, where they say, it had outsold Michael Jackson. All I gotta say is, yeah, the Jonas Brothers knew better, because what a dumbass thing to say. So I'm sure you guys are wondering, how did Busted feel about the Jonas Brothers basically being a Busted cover band when they first came out? And I'll let Busted explain how they felt.
Kind of came through the publisher, was like, some band want to cover your song, is that okay? It's like, yeah.
2006.
You know, and I was like, yeah, the Jonas Brothers, who are they? You know, and suddenly they were absolutely massive.
Yeah.
And people were going, oh, I love that Jonas Brothers song, Year 3000. I was like, hey, calm down now.
Have you heard this version?
And I think there was a lot of weirdness between fans, like, kind of like, whose song is it?
Yeah.
You know, when we were just stoked that they were doing it.
Yeah,
you know,
you still got the royalties, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, people were very
quiet, everyone.
oddly like territorial about our version of it.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
read it and you're like, shut up.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'd also be happy to know that the Jonas Brothers and Busted have performed Year 3000 live together a couple times. And in 2023, they actually released a joint version of the song together called Year 3000 2.0. And I'm not gonna lie, it was low-key trash, but I'm glad they did that. Because it kind of put the fan bases like feuding to rest, because, you know, the Jonas Brothers fan base and like the Busted fan base were at each other's throats over like who did the better version. And what is my unbiased opinion on all of this that no one asked for, but I'm still gonna tell you about? In my opinion, Busted did the better version of What I Go to School For, okay? Hands down. The Jonas Brothers version was just a little too watered down. Like I said, it was giving Kids Bop. But the Jonas Brothers absolutely ate them up on Year 3000. I can't even lie, like they did. The Jonas Brothers version is like iconic. Like, are you kidding me? And like I said, this comes from someone who, I love the Jonas Brothers. Like, I grew up with the Jonas Brothers. They were my 5th most listened to artist on Spotify last year. But I'm also a Busted fan. I like Busted. I love Charlie Simpson. Like, don't play with me. Also, shameless plug, if you like Busted and you like the Jonas Brothers, I have a playlist called Battle of the Boy Bands that features both Busted and the Jonas Brothers, and I will link it down below for anyone who's interested. Next up, we have Cinderella by the Cheetahgirls, and I'm actually repping the Cheetahgirls today because they were my first concert. I actually gotta give credit where credit is due, because I found this out recently through an Instagram reel from DeAndre the Giant.
Did you know that Cinderella by the Cheetahgirls is actually the 3rd of 5 versions of the exact same song?
But yes, Cinderella by the Cheetahgirls has been passed around more times than pizza dough. The song was originally given to a girl group called I-5, and if you've never heard of them, it's because they were only together for a year and shortly disbanded after they recorded their version. The next group to take a stab at it was the Swedish girl group Play. They recorded a cover of Cinderella for their 2001 album Us Against the World, and don't hate me, y'all. Don't hate me, because I love the Cheetah Girls down, okay? Grew up with them. But Play was low-key giving the Cheetah Girls a run for their money. Like, those vocals were strong, and they were only like 13, 14 years old when they recorded the song. Like, those vocals were strong, okay? Strong. Then in 2003, we get the Cheetah Girls version that we all know and love. It was featured in the movie of the same name and on the soundtrack. but it doesn't stop there. Also in 2003, a few months after the Cheetah Girls released their version, the Taiwanese girl group SHE decided they were gonna do a cover for their album Superstar. And what sets this version apart from the rest was they were like, we're gonna eat you guys up and we're gonna do it in Mandarin. Then a year later, in 2004, Thai singer Tata Young, who is referred to as the Britney Spears of Asia on her Wikipedia page, was like, let me do a cover of this song for my album, I Believe. Ooh, my camera's about to die. Give me a second, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, sorry, my camera died. And can I be honest? I'm gonna be honest for a second. It gets to a point, okay? It gets to a point where all of the versions begin to blend together. Well, obviously, like, I know the Cheetah Girls version, but like the rest of them. If you played me the I-5 version and like the Tata Young version, I would not be able to like tell you the difference. I say this all to say, we just don't need any more covers of Cinderella, okay? No more girl groups covering Cinderella. Fifth Harmony, do y'all hear me? Because I know y'all are getting back together soon, okay? No more covers of Cinderella. No more covers of Cinderella. That's it, that's all. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Next up on the list, we have One in a Million by Hannah Montana. One in a Million is a song by German singer Sandy Molling, and it appears on her 2004 debut album, Unexpected. A few years later, in 2007, Miley Cyrus recorded a cover of it for season 2 of Hannah Montana. It subsequently went on to be featured on the double album Hannah Montana 2, Meet Miley Cyrus, and in 2023, it was certified gold by the Recording Industry Association of America. There are some slight differences between Sandy Molling's version and Miley Cyrus's version. For starters, Sandy's voice sounds more mature on her version, whereas Miley, who was 14 years old at the time of recording her version, sounded very young. And I know some of you guys are gonna be like, well, no shit, like, of course she sounded young, she was a child, but like, not every teenage singer sounds their age. Look at JoJo. JoJo was belting like a grown woman at the age of 13. So that's what I mean when I say like Miley sounded very much like a child, and that's okay because she was. Another difference is in the original, Sandy says, I feel drunk, but I am sober and I'm smiling all over. But in the Hannah Montana version, Miley says, can't believe that I'm so lucky, I have never felt so happy. And once again, what in the Kids Bop fuck is this? Because I would have said something like, you got me melting in your presence, this lovin' feels so effervescent. I'm a songwriter, in case you can't tell. Get me in that studio, okay? Get me in that studio. I just hate when people try to do clean versions of songs and the lyrics just sound so bad, like Sabrina Carpenter saying like little sucker. Like, don't piss me off. Do not piss me off. The last song I have for you guys is Lost by Menudo, and this one is similar to the Corbinbleu one where the artist did sell the song, but then the original artist's version got leaked. Once again, it's not technically a cover, but the original is by a well-known artist, and I've never seen anyone talk about it, so I wanted to bring awareness to it. Menudo is a Puerto Rican boy band that has seen numerous lineup changes since forming in 1977. Ricky Martin, aka Live La Vida Loca Ricky Martin, was even in Menudo at one point when he was a teenager. Little fun fact. In 2007, they were back with a brand new lineup and released the song Lost, which had both an English version and a Spanish version. The English version received heavy airplay on Radio Disney, as well as on Disney Channel and Teen Nick in between commercial breaks. But before the song was given to Menudo, it was actually written and recorded by aspiring singer-songwriter Peter Hernandez. Hernandez intended to release the song as his own and did not want to sell it. However, he was broke and he was living in LA and he really needed to pay his rent, so after being offered $20,000 for it, he sold the song. He was devastated, but little did he know, a few years later, he'd be going on to sell out shows all over the world. Peter Hernandez is none other than Bruno Mars. And if you listen to the English version of Lost, you will hear him on backing vocals. If I heard this song not knowing the artist, I would 100% think it was a Bruno Mars song. No offense to Menudo, but were their mics even on? I don't know, I think it's giving Milli Vanilli, but Now, before we go, I usually like to end my videos with a song of the week. However, I want to do something a little bit different this week. I have a playlist called The Golden Age of Disney, which features Disney songs from 2001 to 2010. In my opinion, that was just the best era of Disney, like in terms of music, in terms of TV shows, in terms of DCOM, so I made a playlist featuring a lot of the music from that time. And before someone comes up in the comments talking about some,
where's Descendants? Where's Teen Beach Movie? Where's Lemonade Mouth?
that wasn't my era of Disney. Okay, I was no longer watching Disney when those things came out. I was watching Bad Girls Club and Jersey Shore and Mob Wives. Like, I wasn't watching Disney anymore. So that's why they're not included. But if you are interested, I will link it down below with the other playlists I mentioned earlier. That does it for me. If you like this video, like it, subscribe or don't, I don't care. Follow me on Instagram at YourGamut and on Twitter at LoserLikeLex, where I am currently tweeting about Love Island, and later on in the summer, I will be tweeting about Big Brother. So if you're a big reality TV fan, definitely follow me on Twitter, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!